Welcome back for another episode of The Real Cinema Show. My name is Rob,
I'm Devin.
and on the show we talk about movies, movie trailers, movies that we just saw, movies that we are going to see. And with that down, we're going to get straight into it with the weekend recap. Jesus, I knew I was going to do that. So the movies we saw last week.
Yes.
Devin, what'd you see?
Juror number 2. This is the second movie I saw last week. I thought it was a great movie. Unfortunate that Warner Brothers is only giving it a release in less than 50 theaters across the country. Because the theater I saw it in, really pretty packed theater, honestly.
Really?
So that was honestly a great time. I love seeing movies just with an audience. I think it enhances its experience always. One thing that surprised me about this movie, it had a lot of laughs in it. Like there's a good amount of times in this movie where I was laughing. There's some big laughs from everyone, really.
Yeah, there's comedic moments in Clint Eastwood movies. Like, as serious as Gran Torino is, there is that that humor. So.
Mm-hmm. And Clint Eastwood's final movie, and it sucks that
is it officially his final movie, or are we just expecting it's his final movie?
I think it's still more expecting, but he's 94. I don't think he's gonna It takes 2 to 3 years to make a movie, probably on average.
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna make any more. I think this is high speculation that it's his final one.
Mm-hmm.
And then he, like I said, done wrong by Warner Brothers, because it was still a fairly good movie in my opinion. Nicholas Hoult himself put in a great performance. I thought the whole legal drama, the trial itself was actually not that long. It's not. I thought it'd be a bigger part of the movie.
Yeah.
It's the deliberation room and scenes in there that I thought were really great in this movie. It kind of reminded me a bit, as I said in my out of theater reaction, of 12 Angry Men a bit at times.
Yeah.
Which is a fantastic movie. It doesn't fully go on that path, but you see little hints of it, and all the different characters are explored about how they all feel about the trial and the situation itself. And Nicholas Holt's doing his best, kind of juggling that of, what do I do in this situation? If you've seen the trailers, you kind of know how this is gonna. He's in a big predicament where it feels
where it's does he or does he not reveal the thing that he knows?
That he feels like he's the one who actually committed the crime that someone else is on trial for.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a pretty good movie in my opinion. I'd give it an 8.3 out of 10.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really wanted to get a chance to see this, but.
Mm-hmm.
I was unable to do so, but I did happen to see a movie that I didn't expect to see. I didn't expect it to be showing in my area, but I saw Anora.
Yeah.
And I love this movie.
Okay.
Sean Baker, the director of this movie, he's impressed me every time. I've only seen I think he's directed about 8 films. I've only seen about 3 or 4 of them.
Okay.
I saw Florida Project, which I loved. I saw, what was his last one? Red Rocket.
Okay.
And then, this was a good movie. This was, just intense drama, very funny.
Okay.
One of the funniest movies of the year. And
Really?
It's not labeled a comedy.
What is this genre of the movie? I forget. Would you say?
I like drama, thriller.
Okay.
I guess, but it's a romance. It's just a human story. That's really what it is. It explores. It's like a character study of this girl that is from Long Island.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That falls in love with this. Well, gets married to this Russian oligarch's son, and her. It's almost like this Cinderella story where it's is it too good to be true? Mm-hmm. How can she hang on? How can she hang on to what she has?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
okay.
I love this film. I think that, and I'm probably telling my side of it horribly.
Yeah.
But I think that the lead actress, Mickey or Mikey, what's her
Mikey Madison.
Yeah.
I heard she gives a great performance, right?
Yeah, she gives a great performance.
Okay.
Yeah. Sean Baker, I think this is his best movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, nice.
Yeah. So if I were to give my rating, I'd probably give it probably a 9.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So very good. I'll have to get around to seeing it in a week or 2 here, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Nice.
So with that down, we do have another movie, a movie that we both saw.
Yes.
I'll let you go first.
Okay.
So this movie is A Real Pain,
Mm-hmm.
directed by Jesse Eisenberg, wrote, directed it, and stars in it along with Kieran Culkin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought Kieran Culkin specifically in this movie was fantastic. He gave, I thought, honestly, a great performance. It had plenty of laughs throughout, and the dynamic between him and Jesse's character in this movie, I thought, were great.
Yeah.
They're being like complete opposite. Jesse's got his life together. He's got a family and all this, and Kieran's
This
kind of a nobody, like
free
loser,
will,
almost just like
yeah.
do whatever, like almost like couch surfer, really. Just
Yeah.
got nothing going for him. But it leads to him being able to like dig deep and really like get into his character, and just like I said, he gives a great performance.
Yeah.
Really raw and then hard hitting scenes in this movie as well, I thought.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
And this movie, I think the strongest parts of it were the performances.
Yeah.
And it makes sense because this is a movie directed by an actor,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm assuming his main focus was, Jesse Eisenberg,
Yeah.
is to get these nuanced performances that you wouldn't normally get in a movie that was directed by, say, a person that came from the cinematography background.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was watching, I was just paying attention to their faces and their performances and those little beats where it's like, he revealed something in that little look that he gave.
Mm-hmm.
And that, is a part of this deeper character that they've created, and that was my takeaway, at least. It's just like how good the acting was.
Yeah, I thought so. I saw this movie with a pre-recorded Q&A that played after the movie.
I didn't get that.
Yeah, and it was great. You saw Jesse Eisenberg. I swear he's an exact carbon copy of this character in this movie, where he's like constantly like stuttering and like it feels like he's unsure of himself, but like he still knows how to like talk and everything.
Yeah.
And one thing he said was like he had never seen Kieran Culkin's work before in anything, which I thought was funny. Like
did he see Succession? Did he even?
No, he said he's never seen Kieran Culkin in anything. He said, and the entire theater that was like watched that actual thing live was just laughing and thought it was funny. Everyone was laughing.
Yeah, because Succession, and I haven't even finished Succession, but the first 2 seasons, Kieran Culkin is so good.
Okay.
He's like one of my favorite parts of that whole show.
Yeah, I remember Jesse also talking about the score that he always wanted. That I don't know what the exact name was, but like that piano score that you hear in the trailers.
Yeah.
As
it
he was
plays
writing
throughout the whole film. That same.
Yeah, he remembers telling he said he talked to the camera operators and and on the dollies and saying, kind of move at this pace to go with the score and everything. I was like, wow, that's really clever. That's okay. That was really cool. He really knew how he wanted it right from while he was writing it, right from the get-go.
Yeah, I like that.
It made it special. I thought there's also scenes, because this is a movie that takes place on a Holocaust trip.
Yep.
The concentration camp scenes.
Powerful.
Really hard-hitting with visual looks they gave. They talked about that in the Q&A as well, about one character who's the tourist guide. He had to act like he's been there many times, but it was his first time really going there. And then someone like Jesse Eisenberg, who's been there before, but, he has to act like it's his first time too. Yeah. So really interesting dynamic, getting to hear all of them talk about it. It was pretty interesting and insightful.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And just to even think about the blue on the walls.
Yeah.
And that was just I guess just like the aftermath of the gas.
I thought the shoes as well were.
Yeah, shoes are powerful too.
Those were tough scenes.
Yeah. This is slightly off topic, but it's on topic.
Mm-hmm.
I did the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C.
Yes.
Did you ever do that?
No, I haven't.
They have a giant display of the shoes.
Oh, okay.
And you have to like walk through it.
Oh, okay.
And you're just like walking by just 2 walls of shoes.
Damn.
It's crazy.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, so.
All right.
But this is a podcast about movies. And
well, grief is a big element of this movie too, I thought.
It is the element of this movie. Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah. And I did like how this movie... I like how this movie ended.
Yes.
Kind of where it began.
Okay, yeah, I can see what you mean, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Quite literally, actually.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand the ending until I was talking about it with Stephanie.
Really?
Yeah. She mentioned something about the last shot of the film, and I was like, I missed that little part of it.
Okay.
But anyways, yeah. So what did you think of Real Pain?
I'd give it an 8.4 out of 10. Pretty solid watch.
Yeah.
It was very impactful and also comedic. Did what it's supposed to do very well, I thought.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you 100%. 8.4.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jesse Eisenberg, directorial debut, kind of did a
Pretty good job.
yeah, pretty great job. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So we're gonna move on to our next segment, trailers of the week, the trailers that came out last week.
Yes.
I know we're posting this episode a couple days late, but this is from last week's trailers. And what we do have first is, and I will read it right now. A family becomes convinced that they are not alone after moving into their new home in the suburbs. This, of course, is Presence, a horror thriller directed by Steven Soderbergh. It releases January 17th. What did you think of the actual first trailer of Presence?
I think this is honestly like technically speaking, the fourth or fifth trailer for this movie. No, fourth, right?
Well, this is the first trailer. Everything else was like a teaser.
So this is
right?
okay, yeah, fourth one, but technically really first, because the first
Yeah.
three were like these just shots moving through a house for like 40 seconds and then nothing.
Yeah.
I thought it was all right. It got good at times. It has like just about like all right, hooks me with the interest. The biggest thing for me is the unique concept of being shot from the perspective of a deity or a demon or something, some supernatural
Or just
force.
a ghost, yeah.
Yeah. So I love trying to see like when a new concept like this is brought to the table, like in a Violent Nature, where a movie shot from the perspective of a murder. That movie was done earlier this year.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest reason for me to want to see it. Looks like it's got enough potential. I think I'll check it out when it comes out.
Yeah, and I think I was showing you before we started the screenplay, the writer of the screenplay, David Cope. He is the writer of the original Jurassic Park, the original Mission Impossible,
Okay.
and Sam Raimi's Spider-Man.
The first
Spider-Man
wow.
movie. Yeah. So this guy has a track record of making entertaining movies or writing entertaining movies.
He's got a track record making great movies, and this almost looks like almost an indie movie by comparison with. It doesn't look like
Yeah.
it's I think it's got names, right? Lucy Liu and Julia Fox.
Yeah, and so yeah, I mean, with that writer attached, I think this could be something special.
Mm-hmm.
The trailer for me,
Yeah.
I got the idea of what it was,
Mm-hmm.
so it didn't excite me
Yeah.
more than I kind of already was, and I'm not super excited. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
the movie just has my ticket,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
So you'll just about see it from that.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And then we move on to Paddington returns to Peru to visit his beloved Aunt Lucy, who now resides at the home of retired bears. With the Brown family in tow, a thrilling adventure ensues when a mystery plunges them into an unexpected journey. I'm talking about Paddington in Peru, an animated family adventure releasing the same day as Presents, January 17th. What did you think of this trailer?
I really like this trailer. The first one I didn't really care for that much. I mean, it seemed funny and cute, but this one seemed like just a lot more laughs. Really enjoyed this one. Just it seemed like a more interesting story. Like it was almost like two different companies cut this trailer.
Interesting.
I just like this is the trailer. Like I wish they would have just given me originally, because now this one actually makes me want to go see it. I don't know if it makes me want to binge the first two. I might look up like, oh, do I need to watch the first two to understand if they're all like of this level, or maybe I could just go blind to this one. But I actually now want to see this one based off this trailer. Looked pretty good.
Yeah, I was going to say that if I were to see this movie,
Mm-hmm.
I would have to see the first two, just
Okay.
because those two are critically acclaimed,
Oh, okay. I didn't know
Movies.
that. All right.
right? Like
Yeah.
those two first ones are like known as some of the best animated movies ever.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like, why skip those two?
Okay. Yeah.
You
Fair
know?
enough.
And I did hear early reactions. I don't know how vetted they are.
Mm-hmm.
That this movie kind of loses its way a little bit.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if it's going to be as good as the first two.
Mm-hmm.
But the trailer did work for me. Like
Yeah.
I thought it was charming. I thought it was cute. You know, some just what I expected from it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I see it, which I'm not fully on board,
Okay.
but yeah, if I see it, I'll see it.
Got
If that makes sense.
it. Okay. So maybe.
Yeah. This one was actually not directed by the director that did the first two.
Oh, interesting.
So the director of this, he comes from a music video background.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of interesting that your first movie ever is just like a big giant animated film.
Yeah, the third one in
Like,
this big franchise.
Like
It
how do
sounds-
you get that lucky? Like what? Usually when you start out as a filmmaker, you make a short film and then you make another short film and then you make something really low budget and then you build your way up.
Yeah,
I guess he
unless-
knew a guy that knew a guy.
Unless you're Nolan and you just make one feature and then you get all of a sudden like Memento and all that going for you real quick.
But Memento, it's an indie film. It's a low budget indie film.
Well, there's Guy
And
Pearce
following.
and Carrie Ann Moss. Those are two big actors, though, right? You'd say.
Yeah, big actors, but big actors in a low budget film. You know,
I
all you
guess,
have to do
fair
is
enough.
just have a good script.
That's true. They had to have had a good one, and he had to have had a pretty good one to get them in.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna move on to our second to last trailer. For the past several years, the hearts. I messed up. For the past several years, the Heart Eyes Killer has wreaked havoc on Valentine's Day by stalking and murdering romantic couples. This Valentine's Day, no couple is safe. I'm talking about Heart Eyes, a slasher horror film releasing on Valentine's Day. Did you see the trailer? What did you think?
Of course, I saw the trailer.
Okay.
Perfect movie for Valentine's Day. What more could you want?
You know what? I agree. It was a red band teaser, so we
Yeah,
didn't
true.
get like a sense of a story, but
Mhm.
do we really need a sense of a story? It's a bad guy wearing a mask and he kills people.
No, like I mean, yeah, obviously, but
Right.
it actually looked like a solid teaser. I thought.
That shot at the end of the trailer where
Yeah.
it shows their friends' reactions.
Oh my
and then we
God.
pull through the hole in her head
Yeah.
to reveal she has a hole in her head.
Yeah.
That is a legit copy paste from the early 2000s Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, okay.
They do that exact same shot. Like camera goes through the head to
Mhm.
reveal the person has a hole in their head. You know.
Because
So I thought that was cool though.
Because I remember watching the trailer and I was like, okay, this is kind of has my attention. And then that last like 10 seconds, that shot happens. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like I went from never hearing about this film and going, okay, I actually really need to watch this now when it comes out. Like, this looks pretty good. I'm looking forward to watching this. This looks like it could be a pretty good slasher horror.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I'm seeing it. It looks like it's going to be a fun time. Yeah. All right. Our last trailer. And I didn't practice reading this one, so if I stumble, sorry.
I don't know.
Lee, who recounts his life in Mexico City among American Man, I messed up. Expatriate college students and a bar owner surviving on part-time jobs and GI Bill benefits. He is driven to pursue a young man named Allerton. Yeah. Anyways, what I'm talking about is queer. I don't even understand what I just read. It's about a guy in New Mexico pursuing another guy, a younger man.
Yeah.
Right? It's a period romance drama releasing February 13th, stars Daniel Craig, directed by Luca Guadagnino. He directed a couple films that I liked. He did Suspiria, which was an okay film.
Okay.
He's really good at atmosphere. He did Bones and All. Did you ever see Bones and All?
So when you say atmosphere, what do you mean by that? Because I saw Challengers, which is another movie he did this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he creates a world,
Okay.
and you feel like when you're watching that movie, it's a fully fleshed out world. Right?
Gotcha. Okay.
I didn't see Challengers though.
Yeah.
So I can't speak for that.
Mhm.
But he directed one of the best films in the last 10 years with Call Me by Your Name,
Okay.
which is another queer
Mhm.
romance story.
Yeah.
Basically, that's Timothée Chalamet's breakout role.
Oh, okay.
That's how he kind of blew up. Was that after
When
that
when was that?
This was, I believe, in 2017
Wow.
or 2018.
Because he's had a few like big roles. I didn't even know he was in Interstellar for a while. He was in some other movies
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. And what's funny about Call Me by Your Name is that it's also like it's a love story between two men.
Mm-hmm.
One's younger, one's older.
Mm-hmm.
So there's so many similarities, even just like the artistic style. I mean,
Mhm.
obviously, I guess it's the same director. Between this trailer in that movie.
Okay.
But anyways, what did you think of Queer?
I thought the trailer was fine. It's a funny switch up for Daniel Craig, as a lot of people were pointing out, going from James Bond, from Shaken Not Stirred to this, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, to fully stirred and shaken.
Yeah. So it looked all right. Had weird moments like with a snake in it at times. Like there were some weird cuts in the trailer, like for half-second shots from like what's happening in this movie.
Well, it looks like this movie's gonna get into, I don't know, like fantastical elements also.
Maybe that makes sense. Kind of
Um,
from what I was. That can make sense.
And I'm assuming that this movie is gonna be layered with meaning. Like the movie's called Queer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's about a gay romance,
Yeah.
but it explores. I'm assuming, what is queer?
Mm-hmm.
It's queer. The definition is weird.
Oh.
Off
okay.
the beaten path, odd, and maybe that he's using that and adding some weird fantastical elements to it. I don't know.
Okay.
Or at least that's what I got from what I saw.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Yeah, so those are the trailers. So are you seeing all of them?
Probably not.
Which one out of the 4 are you not going to see?
Out of the
Presence,
4,
Paddington.
the least likely for me is Queer. It was.
Really?
I think that was the
Wow.
least interesting of the 4. The one that I think I'm most looking forward to now is, I think it might be Hard Eyes.
Really?
I went from like not even knowing of its existence to
Yeah.
being, this actually looks pretty promising.
Yeah, I didn't know it existed until today.
Yeah.
Until I watched the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What about you?
Queer 100%.
As you're most looking forward to out of these 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. With that down, we're going to go into our final segment.
Mm-hmm.
Opening this week, we have 3 movies that we're going to talk about at least.
Yes.
2 young Mormon missionaries are forced to prove their faith when they knock on the wrong door and are greeted by a diabolical Mr. Reed, becoming ensnared in his deadly and intense game of cat and mouse. See, when I post these, or when I put these in the show notes, I don't fully read it, and then I'll like see like a word I've never seen in my life, and I'm like, oh, dude, attack, But this movie is Heretic,
Yes.
starring Hugh Grant,
Mm-hmm.
distributed by A24,
Yep.
the new psychological horror thriller.
I got horror as the main genre for it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, are you gonna see?
Yeah. I'm definitely looking forward to this one. I think this is the one I'm most looking forward to of the 3 we're going to talk about. Love Hugh Grant. He's great. Also Sophie Thatcher and Chloe East.
Mm-hmm.
Looks pretty good. I think I like the first trailer more than the second, just based off what it is. It's got a 93% Rotten Tomatoes from 104 reviews.
Wow.
So I'm pretty optimistic about this one. A24, as we've said before, pretty hit or miss, but this looks like a pretty good hit from them already. And yeah, I'm definitely going to see it this week for sure.
Yeah. What's interesting though is that this trailer reminds me of a type of horror movie that is made by a big budget Hollywood studio,
Really?
and I don't get that indie horror vibe about it.
What gives you the big budget?
I don't know. It just it doesn't speak A24 to me when I watch the trailer. It doesn't give me A24 vibes.
Well, it looks like it doesn't take place in many locations. Like it's
Yeah.
mainly a house.
Yeah.
So that kind of you could get the low budget feel from that, I guess, right? Or house and stuff inside.
No,
the
it
house.
feels like it's a big budget horror
Okay,
film.
even with the kind of closed location, it looks like.
Yeah, it seems very polished.
Okay.
But having said that, I think it's something that I will do see this
All right.
weekend. Yeah. Okay. A single father and 2 women venture from the safety of their homes to face monstrous creatures to save the life of a young boy. Talking about Elevation, starring Anthony Mackie. What do you think of Elevation, and are you going to see it this weekend?
I think I'm going to try to see it this weekend. It looks promising. As we've talked about before in the show, that it feels like there's not a lot of backing from the studio behind this. Whoever created it, I couldn't find that.
Yeah.
There's only one trailer for this movie. less than 2 months before. Basically, no marketing at all.
No marketing.
It feels
whatsoever.
like they're literally just trying to throw it out and be like, here it is. Pretend it doesn't happen much, even though it's got two great leads. Looks like a good, basic action movie. 90 minutes, simple runtime. So I'm gonna hope for just a good time with this one, I think.
Yeah, I don't feel elevated. I'm not gonna get elevated off my couch to go see this movie this weekend.
See what you did there?
Yeah, you like that little wordplay?
Yeah, looks fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I talked crap about this movie, like in one of our earlier episodes.
Yeah,
It's just,
it's
it's
just
just the
unoriginal.
same. It's just the same old thing.
It's just like we had a script here.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna fight monsters. Yep. That's all I got.
Not trying to make it anything special.
Yeah. And then our final movie we're going to talk about. In 1985, a devoted father, Bill Furlong, discovers disturbing secrets kept by the local coven and uncovers shocking truths of his own. Small Things Like These. Starring Cillian Murphy and Emily Watson. What do you think of this? Are you going to see it? Are you going to pass?
So, if I'm not mistaken, this movie only had one trailer that came out, right?
I think so, yeah.
So again, it feels like kind of almost an indie movie or it's low budget, I would say. It's a better word.
Definitely, yeah.
Cillian Murphy's first role since Oppenheimer, I believe, since he won an Academy Award for it. Great producers behind it: Ben Affleck, Matt Damon,
Oh, wow.
Cillian Murphy, and Alan Maloney. I think is how you say it.
Okay.
It's a story about it looks like it could be interesting, but it really is not giving me much to go see based off the one trailer they gave us. Or it's like, I don't think I'm really motivated that much to go out and see it based off, it just looks a little too slow or boring. If they, maybe gave another trailer where they gave a little bit more reason to go see it, I'd be interested. But off this, I'm not like enthusiastic about seeing it.
Yeah, and I'm still kind of confused on what it really even is about. But, obviously, I love Cillian Murphy after Oppenheimer and after watching Peaky Blinders and, everything else he's done with Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
So if I am going to see it, it's going to be solely for that reason, just to see his performance.
Yeah.
If he wasn't in it, I probably wouldn't even think twice about seeing this movie.
That's fair. Didn't the synopsis say he uncovers a secret in the...
Yeah, but it's like he uncovers a secret. Okay. That still doesn't really tell me much.
That's fair, I guess, yeah.
I don't know.
Bad marketing team on this one. Or they just don't have faith in it again, like Elevation maybe.
Well, maybe not.
Too much.
Maybe not no faith. It's
Yeah.
probably just an indie movie that can't really afford big marketing budget. Could just be that.
That's true, but you figured you could do a better job. You just got an Academy Award winner, and nothing to go with it. You can't get... You had 3 big names, Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, and Cillian Murphy. You couldn't even try to get someone to help market it for you guys? You're telling me you guys don't have swaying power?
True.
Aren't they all Academy Award winners in some aspect?
Yeah, they are.
It's kind of hard to believe they couldn't
I don't know.
make it special. Yeah,
The trailer was fine. I just didn't know what it was trying to tell me.
fair enough. Not enough for me.
That does it. That's all of our notes. We reached the end. But thank you guys for watching. Look out for our out of the theater reactions that we post every time we watch a movie.
Yep.
Most of the time. I didn't post a Nora, but I'll be a better human next time and provide that. Yes.
Sounds great.
Great. All right. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.